We'll move on to Miss Clyornique Durrant. I got it right? Okay. I know she briefed me on it. Okay, thanks.
Oh, the light.
I'll do it.
Buiti Wayu, Hong Song Moot. That is good day to everyone in Garifuna. My name is Clyornique Durrant, and I would be presenting on the Changing Landscapes project. I'm just going to wait for it to come up 1 minute. I'm waiting on the PowerPoint to come up, sorry. Which is a collaborative effort, as you can see the many names that are added on right there. Next slide, please. So Changing Landscapes is a collaborative recovery project here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines between the UE Seismic Research Center and the University of East Anglia, as well as the North Windward communities over the Dry River in the North Windward area. So those are the communities that would be found in the red volcanic hazard zone. So from the north, we have Fancy right down to Orange Hill. Next slide, please. The project firstly acknowledges that our local communities have very specific knowledge around what is happening on the ground, and the way forward in reducing the impacts of hazards and disasters that occur in our region fundamentally resides in empowering and supporting the people who are going to be affected first. And who are these people? The people in the communities. Traditionally, the approach to responding to hazards is focused on making plans and putting structures in place at national and regional levels. This is certainly of value, but too often the people in the communities are those left behind. So this project certainly aims to target that area. Next slide, please. So there was a workshop series. The project began with a workshop series that was introduced the groups to the basics of photography and developing our visual storytelling language. We were facilitated by local photographers, mentors, the scientists from SRC and UAE, as well as a psychologist. And now I must commend those behind this entire project for considering to add a psychologist to this presentation, because as members of the community, we felt acknowledged that we went through a traumatic experience and they cared about us, you know, and not just the science at the forefront. Next slide, please. So through the workshop series, we learned the basics about photography. We gained an understanding of the value of photography as a medium to document our physical and social environment, as well as express ourselves using a visual language that is unique to us. So when you look around the room, as you came up the steps this morning, that's all of our work that you saw on display. Thank you. So rather than going headfirst with science or tech, the scientists chose to first understand us, the people, and put how we live with and experience risk front and center, and then bring in the science. In this way, they hope to create better and more relevant science for people. Next slide. Right. So the true citizen science connection of this project is to see the generation of two intersecting sources of knowledge, one being our stories, or the narratives and experiences of the communities in the red zone that continue to be impacted, and the measured empirical data on rainfall that can be reconciled with these stories. Okay, so yeah, then after all that behind the scenes, we went straight into the field, and we, in a series of walks in our communities that had multiple purposes and advantages. So one of the reasons we did all of these hikes was to identify suitable locations for siting the buckets to collect rainfall data. So basically, we traversed most of the ridges and rivers radiating from the windward side of the volcano down into each community. So it was a lot of hiking, and the aim of the scientists was to put the tools and technology for capturing data directly into the hands of the community to encourage us to answer these questions. So we were a part of the entire process. You would see some photos just now, and to document, reflect, and communicate the changes we experience. So we are doing all of this through photography and simple low-cost sensor monitors for measuring rainfall. So that way, our eyes and the technology eyes, you know, will all be detecting the changes. Next slide. Well, I think there's one before that, right? So here you can see us out in the field, putting in the rain gauges at some of the highest points in our various communities. So this overall experience was enriching as we were able to observe, share, learn about the different experiences for everyone, and this sharing took place between us and the scientists. And also inter-community sharing happened there, because we are from Fancy, we're most north, and typically we don't roam and go down to the Orange Hill area or connect with people down there unless we have relatives there. So this project called for all of us to come together and share our own experiences. Next slide. The process of sharing and learning is as important as the product and generation of new knowledge. At the intersection of these two processes, we are building relationships, creating pathways for knowledge, and opening conversations. At the very least, this project acknowledges what our communities are actually experiencing, our perception, and it gives us an opportunity to tell our stories through our own experience in our own words with a powerful media of photography, which I'm certain you enjoyed here today. Next slide. In this way, the project becomes more than just about collecting data for science, but open avenues to share community knowledge, changes in not just the physical environment, but also the social landscape, connections to self and place, and a new set of questions on the whole decision-making process and the social influences on risk emerges. The real innovation in the project was less in the science or the technology, and more the approach of engaging with the group throughout the project towards an equalizing of knowledge and using technology to support that. Oh, sorry, go back, I didn't make a comment about that. So here you can see the ladies actually collecting water from a spring that was used in the Sandy Bay area where when there was no water inside of the pipes, people actually journeying to the spring is pretty far up. And that one, he is talking about the height of the ash, because in most cases we were unable to see the barriers of our bridges that were there. Next one. So I would just like to present to you all of the participants of this lovely project. So this is all of us. We are from all different walks of life. You have social workers, educators, farmers, bakers, and that's Papa up there just starring, you know, he was just the cover. So big up to Papa one time. Okay, next. So now you just take the time. This is just some photos of our work. You can, the size of the boulders that came down from Lahars in our communities getting back together and scraping and gonna grind cassava to make cassava bam bam. The effects of the ash fall on the house roofs in the community. This one with the flower is Fancy. You can see Fancy is quite green post-eruption. And just, we have gotten used to, you know, the boulders being pretty much everywhere. So now they're seats. All of that, the river came through there. That wasn't typically there before. Next one. Yeah, just pretty much adapting back to life at home. That beach did not have sand on it. That's actually from the volcano, so that's ash, and different size ash there on that beach, and just the lovely view, and yeah, this is just life. Next one. And here it continues. So this one you can see this boulder that was exposed. You can see the motion, probably how the water traveled down the riverbed. Children them enjoying themselves. That area has widened since post-eruption. The Arut factory in Oya was damaged, and if you visit Oya, you can actually still see the production that was happening, because at the time of the eruption, people were harvesting arrowroot. So it happened mid-so. Leave the arrowroot, leave the starch, leave everything, and just go and roasting breadfruit. Next one. At this point, you're gonna have a video of our exhibition that we did. So we did a photography exhibition video. Thank you. So this was at the old Sandy Bay school / clinic, Sandy Bay Clinic yard as well. And we decided to have the exhibition within our local area because we wanted for our community members to connect with the stories as well and see the work that we did. There were various presentations, poems, songs. And all the members of the group shared their own story. Could probably end it there. Oh yeah, and there was quadrille dancing. Okay. PowerPoint. So at this time, I would just like to say special thanks to the team of photographers who mentored us, the psychologists, the scientists who are part of this project. Thank you for equipping us with the Red Zoners with these tools to document the changes in our social and physical environment. We are most grateful to you, Sarah May. That's thank you in Garifuna.